Okay, we're live from Albany, Georgia. Welcome to another edition of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show here on the Southwest Georgia Network. And visit the Southwest Georgia Network website at southwestgeorgianetwork.com. And also follow on Twitter at SWGA Network for all things high school football, as well as your interest in the Southwest Georgia area. And I'm your host, Walter Johnson. And hard to believe, 6 weeks have come and gone in this 2020 or 2020 regular season for high school football. And it seemed like in the middle of summer, like July, August, so forth. And there were doubts as if we would even make it to week 1. Never mind week 2 of this high school football regular season. But I mean that week 1. There were some doubts as if we even make it to week 1 or 2, 3, 4, or even 5. Never mind week 6 of this high school football regular season. But here we are as it stands. And we reached the halfway point of this regular season. And a lot of things to get to on this week's program. And both Colquitt County and Lowndes remain undefeated with wins this week on Friday, October 9th. And Lee County Trojans get their biggest win in quite some time, taking down the number 1 team in the state and all Class 5A, in the Warner Robins Demons, and also the Tift County Blue Devils getting their first win of the season, and Fitzgerald getting a big win, and a whole lot more. Not much time to waste, so let's get started. And we'll start up in Warner Robins. And the Colquitt County Packers remain undefeated with a 63-14 win over the Northside Eagles from Warner Robins at McCall Talbot Stadium up in Warner Robins in Middle Georgia. And the Packers and head coach Justin Rogers jumped out to a 42-0 lead at halftime and pretty much had it in cruise control and throughout the game. And Colquitt County just led wire to wire, and they're pretty much dominant throughout the game. And final score once again, Colquitt County 20-63, and Northside Warner Robins 14. And it was the beginning of a very rough night for for the teams in the Warner Robins area. Good night for some the Southwest Georgia teams, and the other team from the Southwest Georgia Network coverage area to face a team from the Robins region of Middle Georgia, which is basically Warner Robins, Perry, and the rest of Houston County. That would be the Warner Robins Demons heading down to Trojan Field in Leesburg to take on the Lee County Trojans. And Lee County got probably their biggest win and one of the biggest wins in the Dean Fabrizio era. And Dean Fabrizio's now in his 12th season as the head coach at Lee County. And the Trojans get the 27-7 win over the Warner Robins Demons. And the Demons, this is their first official loss of the 2020 season. And the big story there, and Lee County jumped out to a quick 13-0, quick 7-0 lead. And actually, the first score of the contest didn't come until about 2 minutes ago in the first quarter. And a touchdown pass was complete, followed by a successfully made extra point, and that gave the Trojans a 7-0 lead. And that would be the score at the end of the first quarter. And then about a minute to go before halftime, Lee County scored another touchdown, this time on the ground, and the Trojans from Leesburg tried to go for two, but were not able to come up with a conversion, and Lee County took a 13-0 lead at halftime. And then Lee County added another touchdown during the second half to take a 20-0 lead, and then Warner Robins scored its only points of the night on a touchdown that made the score 20-7 in Lee County's favor. And then the Trojans kept scoring late with another touchdown, followed by another extra point. Final score once again, Lee County 27, and made that Warner Robins 7, and more on the Worth County Rams, and taking it on the chin a little bit later in this program. And as for Lee County, and the Trojans now 4-1 on the season, and while Warner Robins loses, and for the first time, dropping to 4-1 on the year. And it was Lee County's Warner Robins' first official loss of the season. And Warner Robins lost the game to Valdosta, down in Valdosta, 28-25. But Valdosta was forced to forfeit that game due to coronavirus. Due to the coronavirus, but because one of their top players, due to coronavirus, one of Valdosta's top players, quarterback Jake Garcia, was ruled ineligible. And because both parents didn't make the move from California to Georgia, and with them, and for the second time in as many weeks, the Georgia High School Association ruled Garcia ineligible. And then earlier in the week, on Monday, October 5th, Valdosta immediately filed for Garcia to be reinstated. And then following day, the GHSA immediately ruled Garcia ineligible. So, obviously it's been a rough last couple of weeks for the Valdosta program and head coach Rush Probst. And then their game against Thomas County Central at home was canceled due to continuing COVID-19 concerns. And then again, then the denial of Garcia's reinstatement and to be eligible to play, and that was another blow for Valdosta. Once again, Lee County wins 27-7 over Warner Robins. And again, big win for this Lee County program. As I have to say, as of right now, have to believe that Lee County has to be the team to beat in Region 1-6A and improving to 4-1 on the season. And one more non-region contest next week awaits the Trojans, and traveling to Tift next week to take on the Tift County Blue Devils. And moving right along, had the Wintersville Classic in the renewal of that long-standing rivalry, and down at Basemore Hyder Stadium in Valdosta. I mean, you have a rivalry. That's a rivalry that dates back all the way back to 1968. And Lowndes won its fourth straight game over Valdosta with a 33-21 victory. And Lowndes took a 19-0 lead at the half. And then in the Vikings under head coach Jamie DeBose seemed to have ran away with that game, but obviously the Wildcats, to their credit, refused to give up, and they scored back-to-back touchdowns to pull the win one score at 19-14. Then Lowndes added another touchdown, made it 26-14 Vikings, and then Wildcats pull back within 5, 26-21, but never really could get over the hump. Once again, the final score, Lowndes 33, Valdosta 21. And with the win, Lowndes remains undefeated at 5-0, while Valdosta falls to 1-3. And Valdosta might be one of the best 1-3 teams out there. However, having said that, and it's just been a rough last couple of weeks. And not only with losing the last several weeks, really, not only with losing to Colquitt County, and also with Jake Garcia being ruled ineligible, and then also again, as mentioned earlier, having their game with Thomas County Central canceled, and now the loss to Lowndes, and probably their biggest, most hated rival. So it's been tough, and not only that, and Valdosta comes in ranked number 1 in Class 6A, and already lost to Colquitt County 24-10 up in Moultrie, and also having their season opening win over Warner Robins forfeited due to Jake Garcia's ineligibility, and as well as the loss to Lowndes and last night on Friday, October 9th. And Valdosta returns to action next Friday, October 16th, playing host to West Side of Florida. And it'll be interesting to see how this Valdosta team responds to adversity. And right now, so Valdosta is facing a lot of that adversity. And I have to, and Lee County looks like they're the team to beat right now in Region 1-6A. And Colquitt County, with their loss to north side of Warner Robins, falls to 2-4 on the season. And like I said, I'm thinking Lee County will be the team to beat in Region 1-6A right now. And moving on to another game in Sylvester, and the Worth County Rams put their 3-game winning streak on the line, taking on the Class 7A Tift County Blue Devils, another team from our area that has had to deal with adversity, and primarily due to COVID-19. And Tift County and the Tift County Blue Devils, who came in at 0-2, and primarily primarily due to COVID-19 and their head coach Ashley Anders and and the entire Blue Devils team had to sit out the rest of September after opening it with a 7-0 loss at Tift County way back on September 4th, and then the coronavirus hit, and it forced the Blue Devils off the field for the rest of September, and then last week on October 2nd, they returned to action against Irwin County up in Ocala, and Tift County lost 35-20. And this week, however, the Blue Devils finally did get in the win column, or in this case, the third time was the charm, with a convincing 47-0 win over the Worth County Rams, who won 3 in a row. Run 3 in a row since losing their opener at Turner County. So the Rams, under first-year head coach Philip Ironside, are riding a 3-game winning streak. But Tift County, just punched Worth County in the mouth early and just kept on punching until they knocked the Rams out. And it's really not much of a game. Final score: Tift County 47, Worth County nothing. And big win for Tift County. And next week, the Blue Devils will host the Lee County Trojans and head coach Dean Fabrizio. I'm looking to trying to look more into that game on the next episode of the High School Football Roundup podcast, and which can be heard every Monday night, and drops at around 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time every Monday night, or 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the Southwest Georgia Network, southwestgeorgianetwork.com. Also on Twitter at SWGA Network. So obviously, once again, big win for the Tift County Blue Devils this week, rolling past the Worth County Rams 47-0, and moving right along. And the only Region 1 4A team in action this week was Thomas County Central, and the Yellow Jackets play host to the number 1 team in all of Class AA, and the Callaway Cavaliers out of Hogansville, Georgia, in the west central part of the state, about an hour or so southwest of Atlanta. And sadly, the Yellow Jackets of head coach Ashley Henderson fell 2 points short to Callaway, and Callaway escaped with a 16-14 win. And with the loss, Thomas County Central fell to 1-3 on the season, and Callaway also remained undefeated. I've seen Callaway was like 3-0 coming in to that game, about 4-0, 5-0 by now. And again, Thomas County Central does lose 16-14 to Callaway. And that loss to Callaway ends a rough road as far as non-region play for all 6 teams in GHSA Region 1 5A. And the Yellow Jackets will open Region 1 5A play next Thursday, October 15th. That's when they'll pay a visit to Hugh Mills Stadium to face the Monroe Tornadoes, who last week opened their COVID-19 shortened season with a tough loss of their own, falling 14-12 to Northeast up in Macon last week. And elsewhere, the Tift County Cougars just keep rolling along, and the Cougars crushed Upson Lee 32-0 up in Thomaston, Georgia last night, and the Cougars from Cordele win convincingly to open Region 2 AAA play at 1-0 while also remaining undefeated at 4-0 overall, 32-0. And looks like Crisp County's scored a lot more points. And Crisp County scored a lot more, and Crisp County's been racking up the points in our last couple of games, and took care of Eagles Landing Christian, 34-13, and then in their game against Jackson, up in Jackson, Georgia, was postponed until October 30th, and again due to the COVID-19 issues, and obviously, don't want to sound like a broken record, but that's the way it is these days. And also in Region 2 AAA, and the America Sumter Panthers struggles continued as Peach County rolled to a convincing 53-3 win up in Fort Valley, Georgia. And America Sumter not only falls to 0-4 overall, they also fall to 0-2 in Region 2 AAA action within the Georgia High School Association. So, and head coach Ross Couch and the America Sumter Panthers continue their struggles. And America Sumter falling to 0-4 overall, and again also 0-2 in Region 2 AAA. Peach County wins easily, 53-3. Peach, once again, final score: Peach County 53, America Sumter 3. And America Sumter returns next week to face Upson Lee. I'm sure Upson Lee won't be in a good mood after being shut out at home by Crisp County. And with so many teams transitioning from non-region to region play, going forward. So every game's gonna be big going the rest of the way. These final 6 weeks of the regular season. And moving on to some other scores throughout the Southwest Georgia Network coverage area. And Berrien gets just its second win of the season as that team outlasted Tattnall County 28-21. And Berrien ends the non-region portion of its schedule on a winning note, improving to 2-3 on the season. In Tattnall County, the Battle Creek Warriors out of Reedsville, Georgia, fall to 2-3 on the year. And so Berrien gets a tremendous win and a much-needed confidence booster for head coach Tim Alligood and his squad. And that's because Berrien will open Region 1AA play right off the bat, hosting the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes. And Fitzgerald now 5-0 on the season after outlasting Pierce County 27-17. Battle of undefeated teams coming in at 4-0 on the year. And the score was tied at 17 apiece at one point. But I think Fitzgerald was even behind at one point as well. But the Purple Hurricanes somehow found a way to get the job done and get the win, 27-17, the final score. And the Purple Hurricanes now 5-0 on the season, Purple Hurricanes came in ranked second in all of Class AA going into the game, and Pierce County was number 6 in Class AAA. And a big win for head coach Tucker Pruitt and the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes once again, 27-17, the final score. And also you have Cook, and you can get in the win column as well, as the Hornets defeated Brantley County. Final score 40-23. Hornets improving to 3-2. And the Hornets will open Region 1 AA play on the road, taking on the Worth County Rams. Both teams coming in at 3-2. And as mentioned earlier, the Rams were crushed at home by the Class 7A Tift County Blue Devils out of Region 1 7A, 47-0. Really not much of a game over in Sylvester, and that should be one of the better matchups involving teams in our area next week. Cook against Worth County in Sylvester. I think it'll be interesting to see how Philip Ironside and the Worth County Rams respond after being taken to the woodshed in their own backyard by a visiting Tift County team that really had nothing to lose. And you got in Region 1 AA next week, you got Fitzgerald visiting Berrien down in Nashville, Georgia, and the Thomasville Bulldogs will play host to the Early County Bobcats, who are undefeated at 3-0 and also ranked 5th in Class AA. And Thomasville sitting at 2-3 overall. And both the Bobcats and the Bulldogs were off this past week in Region 1 AA. And that's going to be a real gauntlet as always. And just going through all the remaining scores for this week. In the big ups, one of the biggest upsets of the week, and took place down in Quitman, Georgia, sandwiched right in between Moultrie, Thomasville, Valdosta, and sits right above the Florida border. And the number 1 ranked Brooks County Trojans play host to Irwin County, the defending state champions in Class Single A Public. And Irwin County got the victory 21-13 over Brooks County last week. And a big win for Irwin County team under head coach Casey Soliday. Like Tift County's head coach Ashley Anders. And there's also came down with COVID-19 and had to sit out for a while. And Irwin County lost their first 2 games, but have now won 3 in a row. And the final score, once again, Irwin County 21, Brooks County 13. And Irwin County with the win now goes to 3-2 overall. More importantly, they start Region 2 Single A public school play at 1-0. Brooks County suffering its first loss of the season, dropping to 4-1 overall and 0-1 in region play. And to wrap things up, and got some other scores. And Mitchell County finally gets in the win column as the Eagles knocked off the Miller County Pirates 36-27. And big win for Mitchell County. And getting a big win in Region 1 Single A Public. And Mitchell County goes to 1-3 overall and 1-1 in Region 1 Single A Public. And Miller County falls to 1-4 overall and 0-1 in Region 1 Single A Public. And also you had Terrell County, and more on them in a moment, and some non-region games involving some Region 1 Single A public school teams. Patola Charter traveled all the way to Milner, Georgia. Milner, spelled Milner. And crushed Rock Springs Christian 48-7. Second straight win for the Patola Charter Panthers out of Edison, Georgia, just west of Albany in Calhoun County. And Patola Charter 2-4 overall. And also Seminole County, a 27-0 winner over Baconton Charter up in Baconton, Georgia, in northern Mitchell County, right near the Doherty-Mitchell County line, just below the Doherty-Mitchell County line. In Seminole County, also got in the win column for the first time in 2020. And Seminole County, under head coach Trey Wolf, improves to 1-3 with a victory. And Seminole County will host Calhoun County next week. And the Cougars, about a month or so, roughly a month and a half, after choosing to cancel its season due to COVID-19, decided we're going to try and play a couple of games after all. So it'll be interesting to see how this Calhoun County team fares after such a long layoff due to COVID-19, and how that might factor in that Region 1 Single A public school race. And then in Region 1 Single A, just like Region 1 4A, has had its share of struggles. And as far as non-region play was concerned. And Region 1 Single A finished non-region play, combined or dismal 1-13. 1-13. Obviously not good, not very good. However, if our region play pretty much getting underway in earnest next week, that really doesn't mean all the non-region play in the world. It's not going to mean a thing going forward. So, and the Region 1 Single A contest being played next week, and the one non-region contest, and Patola Charter will return home, taking on Cross Keys out of the Atlanta area. And the Patola Charter, just like their private charter school counterparts from Baconton Charter, will play a non-region schedule from start to finish, and so neither team will have a say in the region playoff picture. And Pelham will finally return to action after a long layoff, paying a visit to Cuthbert to take on Randolph Clay, and already mentioned Seminole County playing host to Calhoun County. And thinking these last 6 weeks in the Region 1 Single A Public will be very, very interesting indeed. And wrapping up Region 1 Single A action, Region 1 Single A Public School action, Terrell County pitched a shutout over Randolph Clay, 33-0 the final score. And second win for head coach Jack Harris and Terrell County Greenways from Dawson. And as of right now, Terrell County is the only team in Region 1 Single A Public that even has a winning record right now and improving to 2-1 overall, but more importantly, they start Region 1 Single A Public play on the right note, winning note, going to 2-1 on the season. 1-0 on the season, Region 1 Single A Public. And obviously, in Terrell County, like a lot of teams in our coverage area, had to either delay the start of their season, or they've had games postponed or canceled due to COVID-19. And obviously a big win for this Terrell County team. And Terrell County won't return to action again until Saturday, October 17th. Obviously, this is obviously that's not a misprint. Saturday, October 17th, and then the Green Waves will play host to the Miller County Pirates. And then after back-to-back bye weeks, Terrell County won't be in action again until November 6th, and then the Green Waves will head down to Pelham to take on the Pelham Hornets. That is assuming that the Green Waves can find some games to fill those bye weeks in between say now and November 6th, and then home against Mitchell County on November 13th, and then at Seminole County to finish the season on November the 20th, week before Thanksgiving. And considering that Calhoun County only has a couple of games scheduled, both on the road, that includes next week's quote-unquote season opener at Seminole County next week, and I think Calhoun County has another game against Randolph Clay a couple weeks after that. And it wouldn't surprise me if Calhoun County and filled in a couple of holes on their schedule. And go ahead and wrap things up in several more sport. Turner County gets a big win in Region 2 Single A Public, picking up a 26-12 win over Atkinson County. And Turner County goes to 4-1 overall and starts Region 2 Single A play, Region 2 Single A Public play at 1-0. Terrell Academy 24-17 winner over Brookwood of Thomasville down in Thomasville, Georgia. And Pinewood Christian was to travel to Tift County to take on Tift area, but WAOB here in Albany reported that their head coach Eric Soliday, I don't think there's any relation to Casey Soliday, also came down with the coronavirus, and the Tift area squad's been in quarantine for the next couple of weeks. And finally, Westwood Academy over Twiggs Academy, 48-8, and the other DISA score that being able to get in. So on that note, that's going to end this episode of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show. And again, this has been your host, Walter Johnson, reminding you to visit the Southwest Georgia Network website online at southwestgeorgianetwork.com. Also follow on Twitter at SWJ Network. And a quick reminder that you can listen to the replay of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show and audio only format, audio only format at southwestgeorgianetwork.com. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Midnight Blitz Scoreboard Show on the Southwest Georgia Network. And thank you for listening. And hope you have a good weekend. As always, stay safe out there. God bless you. Goodbye. Have a good weekend.